Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every life where the soul stirs and whispers, there is more. More to achieve, more to become, more to live for. And yet, many drift through life like ships without rudders, full of potential but lacking direction. Today, I bring you not theories or dreams, but laws. 10 unshakable, undeniable laws that, if obeyed with relentless faith, will change your life forever. The first law is this: you must have a definite purpose. Until you decide what you truly want, you will remain a servant to circumstance. A man or woman with a clear aim becomes a magnet for opportunities, resources, and people. Purpose is the seed from which every great result is born. The second law is that thoughts are things. What you dwell upon, you draw upon. You are the sum total of what you consistently think. If your mind is poisoned with doubt, fear, and limitation, your life will reflect it. But if your thoughts are dominated by belief, vision, and expectancy, your life will rise to meet them. Third, faith is the spark that lights the fire of achievement. Faith is not wishing. Faith is not hoping. Faith is knowing. It is a deep, unwavering conviction that what you desire is not only possible, it is inevitable. With faith, your mind becomes fertile ground for miracles. The fourth law is persistence. Talent may give you a head start. Luck may give you a break, but only persistence guarantees you finish the race. When failure knocks, the persistent knock back harder. When the path seems blocked, the persistent dig a tunnel. Life yields not to the strongest or the smartest, but to the one who simply refuses to quit. The fifth law is self-mastery. Conquer yourself and you can conquer anything. Discipline your mind, your habits, your emotions. Those who wait to feel motivated rarely move. Those who act despite how they feel command the world. The sixth law is that success follows cause and effect. It is not a matter of luck, fate, or chance. Success has rules, and if you follow them, you must succeed. Just as surely as a planted seed must grow if properly tended. There are no accidents in the life of the disciplined and determined. Seventh, surround yourself with excellence. You become like the people you associate with. If you walk with the driven, you will run with the inspired. If you linger among the lazy, mediocrity will infect your ambition. Eighth, take immediate action. Ideas without action are fantasies. Dreams without execution are delusions. The most powerful step is the first one. Start now. Don't wait for the stars to align. The stars wait for you to move. Ninth, learn constantly. The mind that stops learning begins dying. Read, observe, ask, adapt. Each day brings a chance to grow wiser. Education never ends for the successful. It is their daily ritual. And finally, the 10th law, give more than you take. Pour value into the world. Help others rise, and you will never fall. Service is not weakness, it is strength. When you lift others, you lift yourself. These are the laws. They are not optional. They are not temporary. They are eternal. They do not bend for anyone. But if you align with them, if you study them, live them, and honor them, they will reward you with a life beyond anything you've imagined. Don't just listen. Don't just agree. Commit. Choose one law today and live it fully. Then another and another until these 10 laws are not just lessons. They are your life. Because a changed life doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from implementation. And if you do this, I promise you this truth: your life will never, ever be the same again. Definite purpose is power. Without a definite purpose, you are a wanderer in a world that rewards direction. Life is not designed to respond to the vague, the unsure, or the undecided. It bends instead to the will of those who declare with absolute certainty, "This is what I will achieve." A person without a purpose wakes up each day reacting to the world. A person with purpose creates their world. Purpose is the engine of achievement. It gives meaning to struggle, context to setbacks, and power to action. It's what separates activity from progress. You can be busy all day long, but without a central aim, you are only treading water in a sea of distraction. When your purpose is clear, your mind begins to filter life through a new lens. You no longer waste time on things that don't serve your mission. Decisions become faster, focus becomes sharper, and discipline becomes easier. Purpose simplifies your life because it strips away the unnecessary. And make no mistake, the world will constantly try to distract you, to pull you in 1,000 directions. But when you have a definite purpose, you become immovable. You say no to the noise because you have already said yes to something greater. A definite purpose ignites your spirit. It fuels your emotions, your drive, and your creativity. You begin to tap into energy reserves that were dormant. You stay up later not because you're forced to, but because you're driven to. You wake up earlier not out of obligation, but out of excitement. Life becomes less about surviving and more about building. Your purpose becomes the inner compass that guides you through doubt, fear, and fatigue. There is a reason why the most successful men and women in history were those with an unwavering sense of direction. They knew what they wanted, and they pursued it with relentless intensity. They didn't drift, they dared. Your mind, your talents, your time, they are all tools. But unless you give them something to build, they will build nothing. Decide today what you truly want. Not what sounds good, not what others expect of you, but what your heart demands of you. Write it down, speak it aloud, burn it into your consciousness. Because once your purpose becomes definite, your power becomes unstoppable. Thoughts become things, your mind is the birthplace of every result you will ever create. Before a building stands, it exists first as an idea. Before a fortune is built, it begins as a vision. Before greatness is lived, it is imagined. This is no poetic metaphor. This is a universal truth. Thoughts become things. Every thought you hold repeatedly in your mind begins to shape your reality, whether you recognize it or not. The thoughts you allow to dominate your mind are the blueprint of your future. If you think defeat, you will find it. If you dwell on lack, it will multiply. But if you consistently think in terms of abundance, power, and achievement, the world will begin to reflect those thoughts in your circumstances. The mind does not judge. It does not care if what you think is useful or destructive. It simply creates an alignment with your dominant mental patterns. This is why people who constantly complain continue to find more things to complain about. Their thoughts attract and amplify the very conditions they claim to hate. But the opposite is also true. Those who feed their minds with thoughts of gratitude, progress, and success begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. They radiate confidence and clarity, and in return, life mirrors that energy back to them. Every invention, every business, every work of art began in the invisible realm of thought. The mind is the great workshop where all plans are first drawn. The mistake most people make is they underestimate the power of what they think when no one is watching. They let doubt take root. They let fear fester. And slowly, silently, those thoughts begin to erode their courage and sabotage their actions. You must guard your thoughts like a fortress. Do not entertain that which does not serve your purpose. Do not let idle fears become internal truths. Thoughts are not harmless. They are the raw material of your destiny. You are not a victim of your environment. You are a reflection of your inner world. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. And what you are is shaped by what you think. If you want to change your life, start by changing your thoughts. Feed your mind the images of the life you desire. Speak life into your goals. Visualize your success in vivid detail. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It accepts what it is repeatedly given. And over time, it organizes your behavior, your habits, and your circumstances to bring that vision to life. So never again say, "It's just a thought." There is no such thing as just a thought. Every thought is a seed, and every seed contains the potential for an entire forest. Plant wisely, nurture daily, and the harvest will astonish you. Faith is the Firestarter. Faith is the invisible force that turns possibility into reality. It is the Firestarter, the spark that ignites action when logic says wait, when the odds say no, when the path forward is cloaked in darkness. Without faith, ideas die before they're born. Without faith, dreams remain locked away in the mind, too fragile to face the world. But with faith, genuine, unwavering faith, a person becomes unstoppable. It is not a weak, passive belief that things might somehow work out. It is a bold, relentless conviction that they will, no matter how impossible they may seem today. Faith is not built on what the eyes can see or what the hands can touch. It is built on a deeper knowing, a certainty that your purpose is real, your vision is valid, and your success is not just possible, but inevitable. You may not yet know how, but faith doesn't need to know the how. It demands only that you believe enough to begin. Faith gives you the courage to move before you're ready, to act before you're certain, to take the first step when the staircase isn't even visible. Those without faith wait for proof. They wait for guarantees. They wait for the perfect conditions, and they wait themselves into regret. But those with faith move forward in the face of fear. They build momentum not by waiting, but by trusting. Trusting that the way will be made clear as they move. Trusting that the universe responds to commitment. Trusting that doors will open not before the leap, but because of it. Everything in your life will try to test your faith. Failure, delay, criticism, loneliness. These are not signs to quit. They are tests to see if your belief can endure. Faith is forged in fire. It's easy to believe when things are working, when people are clapping, when the money is flowing. But true faith reveals itself when the lights go out, when no one is watching, and you still choose to believe. Faith activates your mind's creative power. When you truly believe something is possible, your mind begins working overtime to find solutions, shortcuts, and connections that you never noticed before. You become more resourceful, more resilient, more relentless. Faith sharpens your focus and awakens the part of you that refuses to be ordinary. And understand this, the world responds not to your wish, but to your conviction. People feel when you believe in what you're doing. They sense your confidence, your certainty, and they begin to align with your energy. Resources appear, allies emerge, and momentum builds, not by chance, but by the magnetic pull of your belief. Faith is not a one-time decision. It is a daily discipline. It must be fed through repetition, affirmation, visualization, and most importantly, action. The more you act in faith, the more evidence you create for future faith. You build a history of overcoming, a track record of resilience. And soon, your faith becomes unshakable, not because you've never fallen, but because you've proven you can rise. So fan the flame of your belief until it becomes a blaze. Guard it. Fuel it. Speak it aloud, live it in your decisions, and walk it in your silence. Because once you light the fire of faith, no force on earth can extinguish what you're destined to become. Persistence breaks resistance. Persistence is the quiet, stubborn force that shatters every wall standing between you and your destiny. It is the difference between those who almost made it and those who did. It is the heartbeat of success, the rhythm that refuses to stop, refuses to slow down, refuses to be silenced by setbacks, delays, or failure. Talent can give you a head start, strategy can give you a plan, but only persistence will carry you across the finish line when the path grows hard, when progress feels invisible, and when everyone else has given up. Every dream, no matter how bold or brilliant, will face resistance. That resistance might come from the world around you. Rejections, failures, missed opportunities, or it may come from within. Doubt, fatigue, fear, or self-sabotage. But resistance is not the enemy, it is the training ground. Resistance exists to test the strength of your desire. It asks one question: how badly do you want this? And the only answer it respects is persistence. Persistent people are not always the most gifted. They're not always the smartest, the richest, or the most connected. But they have something more powerful than any of those advantages. They have grit. They have a deep, unshakable resolve that says, I will not stop. They understand that success is rarely immediate. It is earned, inch by inch, day by day, with consistency and effort that compounds over time. Persistence doesn't mean charging blindly into the same wall forever. It means adjusting, learning, improving, and adapting while never losing sight of the end goal. It means changing your tactics if necessary, but never changing your decision to succeed. When the door won't open, you knock again. If it still won't open, you find another door, or build your own. But you do not quit. You will be tempted. You will face moments where walking away seems easier. You will be misunderstood, criticized, and underestimated. But if you hold your ground, if you refuse to retreat, the resistance will eventually bend. The obstacles will give way, because nothing in this world can permanently stand against someone who will not stop trying. Most people quit just before the breakthrough. They dig 90 feet into the mountain and walk away when they were 3 feet from gold. But those who persist keep digging. They trust that the reward is real, even when they cannot yet see it. And because they persist, they are the ones who find what others left behind. Persistence builds character. It hardens your will. It turns pain into power and adversity into advantage. Every time you persist in the face of difficulty, you send a signal to yourself and to the universe that you are not available for mediocrity, that you are committed to excellence, no matter the cost. So do not stop when it gets hard. Do not stop when you are tired. Stop only when the work is done. Keep showing up, keep pushing forward, keep choosing progress over comfort. Because when everything else fades, motivation, inspiration, opportunity, persistence remains. And in the end, persistence always wins. Master your mind or be ruled by it. Your mind is your most powerful ally or your most dangerous enemy. Every decision you make, every emotion you feel, every action you take begins in your mind. And if you do not learn to control it, it will control you. It will feed you lies, doubts, fears, and excuses. It will magnify your weaknesses and minimize your strengths. The mind, left undisciplined, is a master of sabotage. But the mind, when mastered, becomes a tool of limitless creation. You must understand this truth: you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. And once you realize that, you can choose which thoughts to accept and which to reject. You can step back from the noise, observe it, and command it. Without that awareness, you are a prisoner of your mind, reacting blindly to every emotional impulse and mental whisper. But with awareness and discipline, you can direct your mental energy like a laser, sharp, focused, and unstoppable. Mastery of the mind begins with discipline. Discipline over your emotions, discipline over your impulses, discipline over your mental environment. You cannot afford to let fear run wild in your head. You cannot entertain negative self-talk and expect to build a powerful life. What you tolerate in your mind, you will eventually tolerate in your life. So you must be ruthless with your focus, ruthless with your standards, ruthless with anything that tries to take root in your thinking that does not serve your highest self. Your thoughts shape your perception, and your perception shapes your reality. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, you will find more wrong. If you allow your mind to dwell on failure, you will attract more of it. But if you choose to train your mind to see opportunity, to look for solutions, to expect success, your life will begin to reflect that internal shift. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of confidence, courage, discipline, and vision, and you nurture those seeds daily, your results will bloom. But if you let weeds grow, doubt, laziness, fear, they will choke the life out of your potential. And make no mistake, those weeds do not require permission. They show up automatically if you don't stay vigilant. Mental mastery is not a one-time effort. It is a daily commitment, a lifelong practice. And this practice is not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is positive. It is about commanding your internal state. When fear shows up, you acknowledge it, but you do not obey it. When anxiety rises, you feel it, but you respond with clarity and purpose. When temptation calls, you hear it, but you act in alignment with your higher self, not your lower impulse. You are in a battle every day between the voice of growth and the voice of comfort. One pushes you forward, the other holds you back. One calls you to rise, the other tempts you to settle. Mastering your mind means choosing growth even when it hurts. It means staying committed to your purpose even when your emotions scream for ease and escape. The greats are not the most fearless. They are the most mentally disciplined. They have trained their minds to stay focused under pressure, to act with conviction despite uncertainty, and to silence the noise when the moment demands clarity. You must do the same. You must train, not just hope. You must lead your mind or it will lead you. Because in the end, it's simple: either you run your mind or it runs you. Success is a law, not luck. A success is not a mystery. It is not magic. It is not reserved for the chosen few or handed out randomly like lottery tickets. Success is a law. It obeys principles. It responds to patterns. It is the natural result of causes put into motion with consistency, intention, and faith. Those who rise to great heights are not lucky. They are aligned. They live in harmony with the laws that govern achievement. And those who struggle endlessly without progress are not cursed. They are simply violating those laws, often unknowingly. To believe success is about luck is to surrender your power. It is to live as a victim in a world that favors others over you. But when you understand that success follows the law of cause and effect, everything changes. You stop wishing and start working. You stop waiting for a break and start becoming the kind of person who creates them. You realize that behind every fortune is a formula, behind every achievement is a system, behind every breakthrough is a process that was followed, deliberately, repeatedly, and with purpose. There are no accidental champions. There are only men and women who decided to live by principle. Discipline is a law. Focus is a law. Persistence is a law. Personal growth, clear vision, emotional control, and consistent effort. These are all laws. You cannot escape them, and you cannot shortcut them. You either obey them, or you pay the price for ignoring them. It's not personal. It's not emotional. It's mathematical. The law of success doesn't care where you start. It doesn't care what your background is, how many times you've failed, or how long you've been stuck. The law will respond to you the moment you respond to it. The second you begin to live with intention, the second you begin to align your habits with your goals, the second you commit with full conviction, life begins to shift, not instantly, but inevitably. Just as a seed must become a tree when nurtured, your results must rise when your actions match your ambitions. Success demands consistency, not convenience. You don't win because you feel like it. You win because you show up regardless of how you feel. You don't wait for motivation. You build systems that move you forward whether you're inspired or not. You don't leave your future to chance. You create it with every small disciplined choice. This is the hard truth most people avoid. Success is not hidden. It's earned, not through tricks, but through truth, not through luck, but through law. When you study the successful, you'll see patterns, daily rituals, clear goals, resilience in the face of failure. And when you emulate those patterns, results begin to follow. Not maybe, but certainly. There's no point in wishing for a better life while continuing to break the very laws that produce one. You cannot plant weeds and expect roses. You cannot avoid responsibility and expect reward. You cannot complain about where you are while refusing to do what it takes to go where you want to be. Once you grasp this, once you own this, there is no more hoping for success. There is only building it brick by brick, day by day, law by law. Kao Yusian, everything you've heard, everything you've felt in your spirit as these laws were laid before you, points to one undeniable truth. Your life is not an accident, it's a creation, and you are the creator. Whether you rise or fall, whether you thrive or merely survive, is not dictated by your past, your background, or the opinions of others. It is dictated by your alignment with these laws, these timeless, unbreakable truths that govern success, fulfillment, and power. A definite purpose gives you direction. Your thoughts become the blueprint. Faith fuels the fire. Persistence breaks every wall. Mastery of the mind puts you in command. And the law of success responds to every seed you plant with discipline, belief, and relentless effort. These are not motivational slogans. These are tools, instruments of transformation. And the moment you begin to live by them, not just understand them, but live them, your life will begin to change in ways that defy explanation. But understand this, knowing the laws is not enough. Reading them, hearing them, repeating them will not save you. Only applying them will. Only moving from intention to execution will unlock the doors you've been waiting to walk through. Most people will never do this. Most will not agree and then go back to the same life. But you are not most people. You are standing at a crossroads right now, between the life you've tolerated and the life you were born to create. Decide. Decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer hope, you will build. You will no longer wait, you will move. And you will no longer dream someday, you will declare now. Because once you live by the laws of greatness, life will not deny you. It cannot. That is the power of truth. That is the power of decision. And that is the power already living inside of you, waiting to be claimed. Now go, not with hesitation, but with fire, not with fear, but with faith, and live the life that's been waiting for you all along.